you have to sugarcoat a little bit more. With men, we have to be more direct. So
Yeah.
would you points would be for women and men to communicate a lot more effectively, or understanding the differences with communicating with the man versus communicating with the woman? Example, woman needs to be sugarcoated or compliment sandwich, and men needs to just be spoken to directly. Whatever you want them to improve, say it. Don't dance around it.
100%. Yeah.
We are evolving since we're the new generation. Yes, we are able to see our parents, right? Because our parents, they could do no harm in our eyes, right? Up until a certain age, and then after a while, now you're in your mid to late 20s, you're really able to see, okay, hey, well, mom, like you said, told me a lot about what dad did wrong. Did mom tell you a lot about what dad did right? Do you remember about what? See, so that right there, that's already a red flag, right? That's already a red flag for anyone who's on a receiving end. At least for me, it was. I'm like, wait, hold on, because I remember my parents went through a bitter divorce as well, and I didn't understand why. But the difference was that me and my dad had a really solid relationship. So whenever my mom would be bash talking him, I'm in the back of my head, it's like, whatever, he's still my daddy, so like, I don't care what you have to say.
Interesting.
But if I did not have that solid relationship with him, it could have gone, I could have been brainwashed, for lack of a better term, or swayed into thinking that, oh, this man is such a horrible man. So there's always two sides of the story, and you being in your prime, you still have enough time to really sit back and really assess a lot of the things that the elders have taught us, what they've done, what they teach us versus what they actually do. You may notice there may be some hypocrisy that we later on find out, like, So I'm sorry, I had to chime in because it was giving, if all you're hearing is negative, then you're already you're already in like an uphill struggle. Because now you have to make your own assessment of who this man really is. If he's
and when all they say is like the negative stuff, you learn a few things. You learn, okay, they'll say something like your dad did this and he disrespected me, did whatever, but in the back of that situation, she may have done something also that caused that, but you don't know that. So now you're just thinking, I can't do that. That's what I can't do. I cannot do what he did, even though it may have been justified. So now when I find myself in a situation where she's doing what my mom did to make my dad do that, I have to react differently from my dad and be calm and just accept it. Because if I react like him, I look like a bad person.
They're just like your father. Trust me.
Exactly.
This is coming from a person.
So it's confusing as fuck. So now you're like, all right, so I don't know what I should accept from women. They say I should accept everything. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So let me be that voice of reason for you. Thank you. I'm so happy we're having this conversation. This is going to be good for a lot of people who are in such similar situations. And I am the candidate for that. I look exactly like a spitting image of my dad, okay? And not only do I look like a spitting image of my dad, who, again, my mom had a bitter divorce from, I also look like her mother-in-law, who she didn't have the best relationship with either. So there was like a double whammy. So I grew up being, I think the punishments may have been a little bit more extra because I look like these people. So it's reminding her. So I'm giving her emotional flashbacks. But me being however way I've been created in terms of being centered and having a sense of peace and understanding truth, I was able to see past that, especially as I grew up. I'm like, okay, I'm triggering something in her. That's not my fault. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's something that mom needs to process on her own. And once you're ready to come into who TF Mr. Plan B is, you're going to start being able to say, I hear you, mom, but okay. Because there comes that respect. You already know in African households, like, hey, the root, right? Slap your face, like easy, So as I try to tell my young cousins and, friends and things of that nature, sometimes it's best to just sit back. So you know in your heart what is right versus what is wrong. How you have to be a little bit clever when it comes to the elders. I would suggest establishing relationships on your own if you can, without also disrespecting your mom, or your mom's like, or any elder that's like, we don't talk to this person, or we don't do this, or this person does that. If you can find some way, because right now it seems like you gotta get into the real truth behind both sides of the story. You're at the point now where it's like, well, why did he do this, or why did Dad do that? You know what I mean? Or I think he did this because of this reason, because you are bugging, and I can see why he might have did this, because you have a tendency to do this, or that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Listen, you are speaking to the choir there. So all I'm going to say on that is that I feel like we should continue to have like small chats about this every now and then, about the hypocrisy. Because that's what it really is. I say this respectfully because I don't want nobody's auntie or somebody coming after me like, hey, but that's why Are You Mad is Are You Mad? Because Are You Mad is basically my aunties end up asking me, hey, are you crazy? Maybe just a little bit, because y'all on some other. They've been colonized by so many different countries, they don't even know who they are anymore. And then they brought us here to the States. We're figuring it out, right? So now we're dealing with all of these injustices with being a Black American and still carry on our customs and traditions, right? And some of the customs were always aligned. So to some capacity, we're paving the way for the future. We are the generation to say, okay, when you're here, be mindful of this. Or, if you and the father of your child don't, or mother of your children, whatever it is, if you're not married, if you guys don't work it out, please try not to badmouth the children in front of the kids. The kids can make their own assessments. We can make, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things. Anyway, like you said, modernizing societal norms. Modernizing societal norms, because again, when you're going against the grain, you look crazy. Hence, Are You Mad? And how do you process it? Because I have my background in psychology, I'm always going to be mindful. How are you processing it? Are you breathing? Are you going for walks? Are you journaling? Do you have men's support groups that you connect with? Like,
you asking me?
No. I said it rhetorically, but now I am going to ask you, do you have a thing? What is your thing? Do you have an outlet? Have you ever done therapy before? Have you tried therapy?
Well, that brings us back to Andrew Tate.
Oh shit.
I don't have I do have outlets. I box and I work out. So I'm active. I'm physically active.
Hard Body Boul makes sense.
Hard Body Boul. I got to. I can't live what I can't not live what I say.
Right.
But as far as like, I think just being around like-minded men, like it's hard to find it in person. Like, somebody calling me. And hold up. That's Mom, actually. I'm gonna hit her later.
Okay, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. So,
it's hard to find men in person that you can link with. I mean, it's harder.
It's
but
weird,
I found it on the internet. I found it through paying for courses to join certain groups, like Discords of people that either trying to make money, trying to keep each other accountable. Like the Andrew Tate course that I joined, people talk shit about it, but if you look in the Discord, you open it up, and every morning they say 100 push-ups. Did you do push-ups? Like, it's almost like being with a group of soldiers.
Yeah, it's like a military camp.
Yeah, it's online, and you have to kind of do it for yourself and hold yourself accountable. But that's how I release shit, by being around other people that remind me why you're doing it. Remind me of like, oh, you're not crazy, or like, yeah, we're on the right path, or just do your push-ups and save your money and be your last, check on that girl, trying to impress her, like dumb shit like that.
Right. Focus on your future, basically. Keep you on track and keep you focused to progress, and not getting sidetracked with the small things. I listen. I get it. Oh, did it stop?
No.
All right. Okay, cool. So listen, it looks like we're wrapping up time, because I know we're. Lost track. Yes, thank you. We'll go there. We'll wrap it up here. So it said men could bear the pain of.
I knew it.
You know I was going to talk about that.
I knew it.
Okay, so you said that men could bear the pain of childbirth better than women. Because men have now. I did the higher threshold of pain, though. I did take that into an account, because you did make that point. You said men have a higher threshold in terms of taking pain. So that when you said that, I said, That'll be cool. But what made out of the woodwork? Why? That felt like a little bit of an attack. Why are we comparing pain?
Here's why. It always seems like an attack, but if you really think about it, it's more like a rebuttal. Women will say things like, and we give women their advantages. There's certain things that women do better than men that we can't do. We give it to them, right? But I forget how this came about. I think I was in the podcast and someone said something like, if y'all are so strong, y'all ain't stronger than us, y'all can't give birth. I'm like, just because we can't doesn't mean we couldn't handle it. We just can't. And I wasn't even trying to like make it a big deal, but it was like, y'all couldn't handle it. It's too bad. It's too painful for y'all. I'm like, well, let's really think about that. We can handle more pain in general. So if it was somehow possible, I think we probably could. I'm not saying I want to. And then they bring up the whole situation. They bring up the example of the birth simulators or whatever, which I'm buying. I'm buying one of those. I'm doing episodes.
Yeah, I'll follow you there. Then good. I'm not knocking anything you're saying. I'm not knocking it. Coming from a woman who's had a child and gave birth naturally. I mean, I think that I don't believe there's anything that you can't do if you don't, if you put your mind to it. But then again, I'm grateful for the genes and the genetics that I have that may have allowed me to be able to do that as well, because everybody can do it, based on your genetic makeup or whatnot. So I'm not knocking it, but I definitely wanted to bring that up. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and maybe there is some kind of part of a woman's anatomy that helps them deal with internal pain better. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't done research on that part.
We can always do more research. I'm always up to digging in and delving into those tough questions and actually getting into the physiological facts behind it. No doubt, because I honestly tell you, once I became a mom, something happened to me. I don't know if it's hormonally. I don't know if the neurotransmitter switched off that said activated mom mode. But I used to be a person who could sleep heavy. Now I'm such a light sleeper that anything wakes me up because I feel like I'm connected to another being outside. So, it's like a spiritual je ne sais quoi when it comes to childbirth. Then I feel like the mom, of course, of a child have a stronger bond, but whatever, just like they're not there. Because usually the mom is the one that's carrying them. But I'm not one to go into like, we can do, anything you can do, I can do better. I would say I can.
It was really just like a small segment of the podcast that just happened to get big.
I like it. It's good. It's controversial. It's provocative. It keeps the people going. It got me asking you that. So it was dope. Oh man, totally appreciate this conversation. Thank you so much for just coming on. Is there anything that you are currently working on or that you like my audience to check out and or know more about in regards to the Hard Body Boul podcast?
Nothing in particular. Me and some other podcasters in the area have been talking about doing a live show, so that's potentially gonna happen, and that'd be dope. Yeah. But besides that, nothing really. Just follow Hard Body Boul, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that.
Very well. Thank you so much. And before I let you go, can you just say a quick drop, like, are you mad? Or just give your name and just say your head, are you mad? That's fine.
Oh, it's Hard Body Boul. Are you mad?
Period. Thank you so much. Plan B. We'll go into that name. I don't know why I didn't delve into your name earlier.
My name's Elton. Ignore that. That's something else. My name's Elton.
Okay, well, Mr. Elton is, here you go. Here you have it, folks. Here at Are You Mad? We're able to interview Elton from the Hard Body Boul podcast. As you can see, he's a young gentleman that's very in tune with the societal norms and looking to make a change in what he may feel no longer fits the mold of the new age gentleman. So thanks again for coming in. Thanks again for tuning in. And thank you again for coming by, Mr. Elton. Until next time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Peace. Is that Alina?
It looks like you lost another one.